Halos and the Mariners getting ready to wrap up this three-game set from the Emerald City. Both teams have picked up a victory so far, thus setting up the rubber match once again. Gooby.
Oh, yes.
Ready to play some baseball here at Safeco Field as we welcome you inside this beautiful ballpark and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. He's Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and as you take away some of the things we've seen on this road trip, some positives, obviously, with the Angels having taken 2 or 3 from Texas, won the first one here. Cole Calhoun, guy that had been struggling the first part of the season, starting to pick up the pace.
Yeah, but you really see the shortness of his swing of late, especially on this road trip, which he has scored a run in all 5 games, hitting 360 so far on this road trip. And not only is he hitting the ball well, he's hitting the ball with authority, going to dead center field in Texas. But then against a closer, a fastball, 3-1 fastball down and in against Diaz, hits that ball well out, 2-run home run there, but not to be outdone again last night. Another fastball came right back inside again, Diaz, and this time once again Cole Calhoun hits another home run. So 3 straight games for a home run, but also we know what he does with the defense and that great throwing arm. Perfect technique as far as running up on the baseball, charging, and a perfect throw in the first inning in Texas. So really set the tone to be able to come back and win that game. Otherwise, Texas could have scored a lot more runs.
Yeah, no question about that. And that's not the only fine defensive plays we've seen in this series. We've seen a couple of them already in left field. And when we return to Safeco Field, we'll look back at some of the plays that Cameron Maybin, Guillermo Heredia have made here at Safeco. Ready for the finale of this 3-game set. We mentioned going to break, some fine defensive plays out of left field.
No question about it. When you look at the tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks, you're seeing some outstanding play. Cameron Maybin first coming in on the baseball, sliding and getting that baseball just as it went foul, but going back to the wall and bringing back a would-be home run for Mr. Go-Go Gadget Arms and Cameron Maybin in left field this the other day. But not to be outdone, Heredia has done a nice job as far as coming in on the baseball too, keeping his eyes on the baseball and the head still, and one of the best plays all season long made. Heredia against Simmons, thinking he had a home run, ran into that wall in full speed, able to control the baseball, and outstanding play by Heredia.
Best part of that whole shot was the bullpen's reaction on Heredia's catch here. Just completely surprised. We're just about ready for baseball. Sit back and relax. Lineups. First pitch. Next. This is being brought to you by our local Southern California Land Rover retailers. By Jack in the Box, come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich only at Jack in the Box. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places.
Welcome back out to Seattle. Final game of this three-game set between the Halos and the Seattle Mariners. We had some rain kind of blow through here recently, so the roof is closed. But we might get a little bit more of a shower as this game progresses. Alex Meyer getting the start for the Angels today, and the Angels trying to pick up the series as they did in Texas on Sunday after splitting the first two games against the Rangers. They took game one here in Seattle, dropped last night, and of course trying to pick up a victory. They'll try to do it tonight without Mike Trout. He's not in the lineup. Trout getting what they call a rest day. But Mike Scioscia also mentioning the fact that may be dealing with a little tightness, if you will, or cramping in his hamstring.
Yeah, it doesn't feel it's anything to be concerned about, but still Mike Trout getting that little re-energizer day today before going home and then playing the Houston Astros with Dallas Keuchel on the mound tomorrow.
It doesn't get any easier for the Angels with the Astros coming to town, although the Astros did lose earlier today to the Texas Rangers, and in grand fashion, 10-4. As the Rangers salvaged one of that four-game series down at Minute Maid Park. Texas is on its way up here. They will start a three-game set against Seattle beginning tomorrow night, while the Angels will return home. And as you mentioned, just a quick three-game homestand that kicks off tomorrow night against the Astros before heading back out on the road on Monday against the Oakland Athletics. Take a look at the lineup for Mike Scioscia and the 15-14 Angels at the start of the day. 4.5 back in the American League West. It'll be Yunel Escobar leading things off, playing third. Cole Calhoun's at right. Albert Pujols at DH. Jeffrey Marte, the cleanup hitter, at first. Andrelton Simmons at short. Cameron Maben in center. Danny Espinosa back in the lineup after having a night off last night. He's at second base. Ben Revere is down in left field. And it's Juan Gratterall tonight getting to start behind the plate, and he will bat ninth. Taking on the 28-year-old left-hander native of Havana, Cuba, by the name of Ariel Miranda.
Miranda's fastball is 90-94. He'll throw a slider, a changeup, and a split finger fastball. So two all-speed pitches for Miranda. My go-tos to be successful against him is you're going to have to try to look upstairs. You see his number 2-2 with a 3.81 ERA. 24 strikeouts in 26 innings. You get look upstairs for his fastball. There's a lot of four-seam fastballs upstairs, and let all speed travel late. Two reasons why. One, you'll be able to recognize between the changeup and the splitter, and also you can recognize if it's going to be in the strike zone or not. If it is, that's when you attack it.
Defensively tonight for Seattle is pretty much what we've seen the first two games already. A Dyson Gamble in the outfield from left to right. The infield was Seager, Segura, Cano, and Valencia from third to first. Mike Zunino once again behind the plate.
And Heredia, we talked about him in the opening about how well he played defensively. 3 outfield assists this season with 1 error in his career in left field. Second year in the majors. Also won a Gold Glove playing for Cuba back in 2011 as a center fielder. So a good throwing arm, and as we saw in the series so far, covers a lot of ground.
He's done a nice job in left field. We've seen some good defense. Last night we saw a great comeback by the Angels, scoring 6 runs, only to see Seattle got to rip the Angels' hearts out, scoring 4 times in the 8th inning with 2 outs. Eventually holding on and picking up the 1-run victory by the final of 8-7. Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, will call the balls and strikes tonight. Tom Woodring at first, Gabe Morales at second, Adrian Johnson at third. The umpiring crew for this 3-game set. First one tonight is fouled straight back. No balls and a strike on Unell. He's batting .239, 6 doubles, couple of home runs, 10 RBIs. Escobar last night, 2-hit game with 2 RBI double.
You'll see a lot of fastballs for him early in the count, especially here in the first inning. So you have to be ready. That's what Escobar was.
This is line to right field. That's going to get down for a leadoff single.
Getting back to those averages and a lot of fastballs in the first inning. Miranda so far this season in the first inning has struggled. Batting average against him, and it'll go up even higher with that base hit by Escobar. .318 batting average with 4 home runs allowed in the first inning, but after that settles down. So you have to be successful as far as your approach, do some damage early in the first inning here against Miranda before you can settle in.
So the Halos get their leadoff man on board. Cole now at the plate. .257 batting average. It's jumped up a little bit. It's fouled off.
And notice again a lot of fastballs early on. What it tells me when a pitcher struggles like that, especially with 4 home runs in the first inning, he hasn't taken what he did as far as his warm-up routine for the bullpen out to the game mound. Trying to get a feel for it. He tries to establish his fastball early in the first inning, and that's when he's running into problems.
In tight. Ball in his strike. Miranda, his 4th career start against the Angels. 2-0 and a 3.71 ERA. As you see Cole's numbers against the lefty. Miranda making his 6th start of the season. Picked up last year from Baltimore in exchange for Wade Miley.
And you'll see that a lot of changeups, even the left-handed batters. Talk about percentage between his changeup and his split finger fastball. About 37% of his pitches will be that all-speed pitch, change and split.
Shift on with Calhoun at the plate. Ground ball toward the shortstop's spot. That's Seager who bobbles it. Now still thrown out at second base for out number 1. It's a 5-6 put out. No error. Cole reaches on the fielder's choice.
And I was just about to say there's a lot of room on that left side of the infield. Seager moved all the way over in the shortstop position and gets a perfect double play ball, but unable to handle that. Does get the out at second base, but should have been a double play. Maybe a break here for the Angels early on. Saw both batters swinging at the first pitch against Miranda so far. Wonder if Albert follows suit here.
With Trout out of the lineup, Albert jumps up to that number 3 spot. .246, 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Albert yesterday with 1 hit, 1 for 5 overall on the night, including a run scored. Lays off. That's 1 ball, 1 strike. cool night. Folks still arriving here, although we've had some light crowds the first 2 games of the series. Not too often, 2 of the 3 games to get the roof closed.
Yes. We've lucked into some pretty good weather over the last few seasons here at Safeco. So he's going to try a slider here.
Down and in. Evens a count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Halos last night of the loss. They're picking up 11 hits. They left 6 men on base. A little better with men in scoring position, going 3 for 8. Marte on deck. That's bounced foul up the third base line.
Yeah, Miranda's given up 6 home runs this season, all 6 to right-handed batters. But a better batting average against right-handed batters than lefties. Lefties hitting .304, right-handed batters .228. So he's been hurt with that high fastball to right-handed batters.
Albert skies one to shallow center. Cano backpedals out, camped underneath it. 2 down. Cole back to first. Just looking at Albert's reaction, looking like perhaps maybe he just missed a pitch.
Yeah, change up right to the heart of the plate.
Jeffrey will take a strike. Angel first baseman hitting .170. 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Did not play last night with Valbuena getting to start at first base. Marte was over there 2 nights ago. Ended up picking up a sac fly before being removed for a pinch hitter.
That was 2 strikes right there. A little late on that fastball after a changeup the first pitch.
Tight.
Now, if you're Marte, you're almost sitting on a split finger fastball now. And you got to try to bring it in the strike zone.
There's the 1-2. And Marte will go down swinging as Miranda picks up his first strike. Yeah, we'll head to the bottom of the first with Alex Meyer taking the hill and with no score. At the major league level this year for the Angels. So take a look at the lineup for Scott Service and the Seattle Mariners coming to this one with a 12-16 mark. They will have Gene Segura leading things off in short. Ben Gamble at right. Robinson Cano at second. Nelson Cruz is in hitting streak. Is back in there in that cleanup spot, DH. And Kyle Seager at third. Danny Valencia at first. Guillermo Heredia in left field. Mike Zunino behind the plate. Rod Dyson batting ninth and controlling center field. Mentioned Meyer making his second start. No record. His first start lasted 3 2/3, gave up 2 hits, walked 4, struck out 3.
It does have that impressive fastball, 93-98, very good curveball. Solid changeup. I think he'll use a little bit more so here tonight.
And the first one hits Segura and gets Gary Cederstrom. So the very first pitch by Alex Meyer, and the Mariners have a man on base.
See, that elbow drops down, and when you do that, it's going to run in and hits the hip, and then Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire. Very important for Alex to stay on top of that pitch, because when that elbow drops, it levels off that throwing arm, and that's when you have that running action inside.
So right from the get-go, Meyer has to deal with the speedy Gene Segura at first base with Ben Gamble at the plate. Segura, by the way, with 5 stolen bases, has yet to be caught this year.
Well, what we see, and you just have to make him stop. He likes to get a running start.
He had one of those last night. He's pretty much 3/4 of the way to second base by the time the ball crossed the plate. 1-0. Gamble takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
That was a pretty good pitch right on the outside corner.
With Sink at 97. Short lead for Segura right now. He's on the move. Gamble's pitch downstairs, and the one throw to Graterol. Simmons thought he got it. He flipped it over to Danny Espinosa. Mike Scioscia will take a look.
Yeah, not too often where you have a fielder like that right away, pretty emphatic about thinking he got him out. Pretty good throw from Graterol. See how quick that tag was on her. Oh, that looks like his hand's in there. At least that first angle looked like his hand was in. Oh no, he did get him.
See that one?
That angle's better.
Yeah, they're going to check this one.
Yeah, the one angle we saw initially looked like he got his hand in, but his hand was up. He's out. Yep, tag on, no hand on the base. It's a huge out when you think about it. When you look at the count right now for Gamble, if we're able to throw him out.
Gamble with a 3-0 count. Good throw, quick tag once again.
And there's a lot of in the stands here. Quiet.
Well, that first replay we showed, it looked as if the hand got there, but that center field shot, and then the tight shot at the bag, it looked like the glove just did get his arm before the fingers touched the base.
This will be a huge boost for Alex Meyer if indeed this is an out here. Pretty quickly. And he is out first time this season. Good throw from Graterol. What a perfect throw, and a quick tag as usual for Simmons.
Call gets overturned.
So 1 stolen base against Graterol in 3 attempts so far, so he's done a very good job as far as stopping a running game.
So a 3-0 count on Gamble. Cano on deck. And that's a walk. A 4-pitch walk. We'll take a look at the defense for the Halos quickly behind Alex Meyer. Revere in left, Maven in center, Calhoun at right, the infield. Escobar and Simmons on the left side, Espinosa and Marte on the right, and Graterol behind the plate.
And Maven getting the start in his familiar position out in center field. It's a 702nd career start in center field. Had a career high 7 assists back in 2015.
Cano at 270 batting average. 7 doubles, 5 home runs, 21 runs batted in. He will take a look at his strike. Robinson yesterday homered in the first inning. 1 for 3. Foul off.
Going to my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful, especially Alex Meyer in this one. Nirvana, stay away. In other words, stay away from these two bats, Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz, especially in RBI situations. Stay down and away and force them to hit to the big part of the field.
Shift on with Simmons up the middle. Breaking ball towards second. Espinosa, 2 big hops, flips it to Simmons for 1. And on the transfer, lost the handle. So we get the second out at the bag. Cano reaches on the fielder's choice.
Looks like Seattle's going to take a look at this play. Certainly not an issue with the transfer. It's a matter of being on the base or not. That's what they may be looking at.
No argument from Seattle, and here comes Nelson Cruz. Cruz a 3-hit game yesterday, 3 for 4. Picked up an RBI, has himself a 12-game hitting streak. Takes down and in. Meyer, AAA Salt Lake, 4 starts, no record, a 6.16 ERA, 19 innings, 27 hits, 24 strikeouts, and 7 walks. This is driven out to right field, make that a 13-game hitting streak. Gets by Cole, it goes to the wall. Cano with good speed headed to third. He's being waved around, and the throw to the plate is not in time, and Seattle has a 1-0 lead on the Nelson Cruz RBI double.
Reason why they was able to get around and score, got underneath the padding in left center field. Generally the ball hit that hard, will hit off the wall and bounce back, but it stayed right underneath there. Of course, in a longer run for Cole to go get to this baseball. Talked about you have to stay away from these two guys as productive they have been this season, especially of late for Nelson Cruz. You say it stays right underneath there, forcing Cole to go all the way to get that. He was anticipating the bounce off the wall. At that point, you probably hold Cano. It's 18 RBI last 10 games for Nelson Cruz.
So Cruz standing in scoring position. Here's Kyle Seager. Breaking ball for Alex, misses. Seager, the third baseman, at 241, 5 doubles, a triple, a home run, 15 runs batted in. Back-to-back games, the Mariners have gotten a run in the first inning. Angels have trailed each of these 3 games. Cole back a couple of steps, puts it away, and Meyer limits the damage to just the run. Halos down 1-0 as we head to the second.
throws. It's worthy of a Carlos Cam replay. Back in the first inning, first pitch fastball to Escobar, first pitch fastball to Cole Calhoun. Same thing to Albert Pujols, and changeup. He's around 71%. First pitch fastballs stayed right on course. 3 out of 4 fastballs, 75%. First pitch fastballs in the first inning, so sit fastball early on.
Handled. Simmons takes down low. Simmons, Maben, and Espinosa for the Angels here in the second. Miranda had a strikeout and a single allowed in the first, but nothing else. 272 batting average. The Angels shortstop. Andrelton last night 0-3 with a sacrifice fly. Lifted down the line. Long run for Gamble as it slices away from him. Just off the top of the fence. And a play. Some serious flow on Gamble.
Yeah, he does.
Between him and Taylor Motter.
Channeling their inner Noah Syndergaard now. He's going to be out on the DL for a while, possibly for the Mets.
One-two. The dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Changeup turns over his changeup a little bit more so. His splitter goes straight down. Changeup will go away almost like a screwball type action.
Down and in. It's Manzanillo.
It's Mike Trout.
That's who that is?
Yeah, in the dugout.
Get out of here.
No, I didn't. He was listening to us in the first inning.
Bouncer over to third. Seager plays it on the short hop. And almost pulls Valencia off the bag. 1 away.
He was hanging out top of the first just to listen to us talk about the keys of the game and everything else before coming out here in the second. 16-game hit streak during that stretch. 10 RBI, 5 home run for the AL Player of the Month of April.
Just a spectator in the early going.
Like Socha said, he would be available potentially as a pinch hitter.
Oh, what count on Maben?
So that's 2 first pitch fastballs in this inning already for Miranda.
Cameron had the night off last night with Revere getting the start in left, but with Trout out of the lineup. Cam at center tonight. Has himself a 1-ball, 1-strike count. One and 2. Miranda last year after getting traded from Baltimore. 11 appearances, 10 starts with Seattle after the trade. It's 5 and 2 for them during that time. And a little bit high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There was a rumor Jeff Fletcher of the Orange County Register saying yesterday that there was a possibility that the Angels could have acquired Miranda last year from Baltimore. Instead, the Angels opted to go with Alex Meyer and Ricky Nolasco combination, sending Hector to Minnesota.
Definitely has a real good changeup and split. Good velo on the fastball. It's going to settle in 93-94 range. Just looking at patterns early on here. He did throw back-to-back fastballs to Cameron Maben in this at bat, both inside, 1 for a strike, 1 out of the strike zone. But early on, we've seen fastball changeup or fastball split. It's going to be off speed.
Sorry, Goop. This was punch to right field, a base hit. Second hit allowed by the left hand, and the Angels have a man off for Espinosa.
And that's exactly what you got to do, Victor. You have to stay back on it and use that other side of the field, especially with this changeup. When you try to pull that, you're going to hit a ground ball to short. So you started off with a couple fastballs, especially middle part of that at bat. going away, and then the changeup away, stay back. Good level swing from Maben. So Miranda did a pretty good job as far as utilizing both sides of the plate, but a better at bat for Maben against him to produce a hit.
Espinosa back in the starting lineup. For his last 19, takes downstairs. And his batting average down to 160. Three doubles, 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. 1-0 Seattle. 2 balls, no strikes.
When you think about trying to run against Miranda, he's not allowed a stolen base yet on the mound in the major league level. 1 pickoff. Pretty good sized lead there for Maben.
He's behind on the count of 3 balls and no strikes.
Even though Espinosa is struggling with the batting average, there's always a time where Mike Sosa has a lot of trust in a hitter to see if he can center in on the spot. If he gets a fastball down the middle, he'll let him swing 3-0.
And he works the walk. Maben will advance to second. The Hills have 2 men on, with 1 out of Revere. They celebrate Cinco de Mayo tomorrow as the Angels take on the Astros at 7:07. Receive maracas courtesy of Chronic Tacos. While supplies last, just go to angels.com/promotions for more info.
It's tomorrow?
Yeah, since today is May 4th.
May the
5th usually follows that, which would be Cinco de Mayo.
Is that how that works?
Every year, Cinco de Mayo falls on the 5th of May.
Thanks for that information.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Even in leap years,
yes.
Doesn't matter. First one to bed. Take a strike. Met last night, celebrated his 29th birthday. 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Scored a run, also stole a base. A chance to drive in a couple here with 1 out. 209 batting average. Smothered by Zunino.
Well, Zunino's had to work quite a bit already in this game.
He's thinking the exact same thing. Bouncer up the line. That is a fair ball. 2 down. Maben ends up at third. Espinosa at second. With some of the pitchers that have been down in the dirt against Miranda, maybe you could sneak one out here. Gratterall coming to the plate.
Very important to get a good secondary lead if you're Cameron Maben. Anticipation, if it doesn't get far enough away, you can still, if you get a good lead and a good break, a good read, you can score.
Juan Gratterall at the plate, 2 for 9 so far this year with the Angels.
One thing hitters have done a much better job this season against Miranda. They have not chased a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. You look at percentage of swings out of the strike zone as compared to strikes, pitches in the strike zone. 68.9% of pitches in the strike zone they've been swinging at as compared to not chasing out of the strike zone this season. Important. We've seen that so far against them, trying to bring them into zone. See, 21.7% of swings out of the strike zone. 134th rank. That's what you want as a pitcher, to get hitters to swing at pitches out of the strike zone, not necessarily strikes all the time.
One. High fastball. Cut on and missed. 1-2.
Now it's the time, if you're Maben, you got to anticipate something off speed, potentially in the dirt. Miranda's go-to pitch will be something either a splitter or slider, something off speed, a secondary pitch most times.
One, two. And Juan pulls one out toward left field. Heredia racing over, not going to get there. 2 runs will score. Gratterall will stop at first on a 2 RBI single with 2 outs, and the Angels lead it 2-1.
Well, Gratterall picked up his first career major league hit and RBI in this field. Picks up first two of the season on that swing right down the left field line. Went all speed, went down and got it just enough off that towards the end of the bat. Placed it perfectly.
It was lofted so high with the coverage that Heredia has shown already in this series. You weren't sure if that ball was going to get down or at least get away from Heredia.
Yeah, he's been everywhere so far.
So Juan's on board, picks up his first couple of RBIs of the season, and Unell takes down and in. Escobar with a base hit to right field in his first at bat.
So the Angels have fallen behind and now jump right back ahead with 2 runs here in the second. I was joking around with Cole Calhoun before the game. I said, we played your little soundbite about this team is resilient coming back in games. He goes, you know what? That's the feeling this team has no matter what the scenario is. We feel that we're going to have a good approach and good swings at the plate.
1-2. You go back as a pitcher, though, and you see a fastball on Gratterall that he can't catch up to upstairs, right? Aren't you doing a hitter a favor by going back to an off-speed pitch?
And that's exactly what we said last night with Dyson at the plate.
Yep.
Exact same thing. When Parker was getting that fastball by him, he went off speed. Even though he flared it, just like that was a flare, it was slow enough where you can make adjustment. Even if your hips have opened up, you can keep the bat back long enough and make contact and flared it in, just like last night with Dyson.
It's like you take into account scouting reports, and you also have to take into account what's actually happening in game at that moment. This will back up the middle, off the leg. Miranda plants, high throw, throws it away. Gratterall headed toward third. Gamble's backing up. Escobar stays at first base. Unell never even bothered to turn or even try to go to second base. Stays there. Now goes an infield base hit in an error, and now they're going to check on Miranda to make sure his leg is all right. Remember, Iwakuma last night got smoked by Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah, that got him pretty square. And on the follow through, on the push leg, and in the high throw, right back up the middle, second hit of the game for Escobar. But again, you see that in front of you. If you're Escobar,
absolutely,
you're going, you're forcing that throw. You may get a wide throw even to second base, and it might allow Gratterall to go, but you've also taken away, if you're at second, a force play on a baseball in the hole.
He absolutely should be standing at second base
right now. You saw Alfredo
Yes.
Griffin was saying, doing the old windmill to go.
I mean, Gamble did a nice job at backing it up, but he was in right field.
And you always want to force the issue. You want to make them make a throw. If you can get in that position, make a throw. You can see how far away Gamble was.
Miranda get a couple of tosses here.
And speaking of coming back, now it's time for tonight's Cold Hard Facts, which are brought to you by Clean Crisp, where it's light. Angels, 11 of their 15 wins have been from the comeback variety. Second in the American League as far as that category. Houston with 12, led in 9 of their 14 losses. So the team has been very resilient coming back in games. Already responding after being down 1-0 in the bottom of the first, with 2 here. Second with Cole Calhoun, one of their hottest hitters at the plate right now, and good numbers in his career against Miranda.
Cole reached down the fielder's choice. Oh for 1. There were some lingering effects on Iwakuma last night after he got hit by a pitch. See if there's the same here tonight as the first fastball's in for a strike.
And also you got to keep in mind, if you're Gratterall now, after a pitcher being hit with a ground ball, the push leg more so, but still a break a ball in the dirt can get away. Especially with a left-handed batter up, you're more apt to throw your slider than you are your split finger fastball.
Gratterall at third, Escobar at first base. There's that off-speed pitch. Even to count at a ball or strike.
.30 pitches this inning for Miranda. That deep breath he just took. An opportunity to add on here for Cole.
Bounces this one to Valencia, and that'll do it for the Angels. Juan Gratterall, 2 RBI, 2 outs single, giving the Angels a 2-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. This road trip series brought to you by your SoCal Chevy dealers. Find new roads.
May the 4th be with you, Victor.
Awesome. Never gets old. So we start at the bottom of the second. Valencia, Heredia, and Zunino. Well, they got another 3 movies coming out this year or something?
Yes.
See if Alex Meyer can kind of hone it in here in the second inning. A little erratic in the first. A hit batter, a walk. Gave up a double. Valencia swinging first pitch, pops one up, right side, Espinosa and Marte. Jeffrey calling for it. To make a right turn there. Gets the out. I'll take that.
Always love those quick outs, especially for Alex Meyer to build some confidence.
Brings up Guillermo Heredia, left fielder. 2 doubles, couple of home runs, 3 RBIs. 286 batting average. A 344 on base percentage. That's a nice job in left field. Like the Angels, the Mariners have been hit by the injury bug. Mitch Haniger was off to a terrific start. Ended up placed on the DL because of an oblique strain. So Gamel's filled in at right. Felix Hernandez, of course, still on the disabled list. Alex falls behind here, 3-0.
After that quick out, now 3-0 count. He's got service. Got to deal with a number of key injuries, especially to his starting staff with King Felix. Well, we've seen that around a lot of teams in baseball.
Everywhere.
Right now. It is every day we look and see a bigger name going out. Cole Hamels going to be out in that, what, 8 weeks?
Yeah. 3-1, and that is a strike on the corner. Full count. Ian Kennedy came out of a start today with a hamstring issue.
And the Bulkheads came out of a game, I think, recently for the
Blisters.
Marlins.
Yeah. Three-two line to center field. Maven's coming in and ends up trapping it. Gets away from him. Almost looked like it perhaps made a little indecision.
It's one of those tough plays that the center field lines right at you. You have to commit. If you're going to try to make that play, you have to commit and try to smother that baseball as best you can. Otherwise, that gets by you with Heredia's speed. That's an inside the Parker. Had him played perfectly as far as where he was going to hit the baseball, but that ball was well in front. Fortunate enough to be able to keep that in front of him.
You know, it looked like he wanted to go into a slide and just kind of that knee went right into the ground, forcing the divot. You know what? He's fortunate the ball actually hit his glove.
And he replaced his divot too, it looked like.
Yeah, no sand needed.
Yes. Maybe going here.
Good lead for him at first. Zunino at the plate. Mike hitting 174, 5 doubles. Couple of runs batted in, 250 on base percentage.
Upper part of the strike zone. Gary Cederson, never known as a guy that was really a pitcher's umpire, more a hitter's umpire. Upper part of the strike zone. Alex Meyer didn't get the call.
I'm sure that made you real happy.
Well, it wasn't in the upper part of the strike zone, no. Lower part of the strike zone, but that, you know, that didn't necessarily get called either.
Caught the corner, 2-1. .22 pitches so far for Alex. 12 balls, 10 strikes.
Love to get a ground ball right here and an infielder if you're Alex Meyer. And his best fastball is that lower part of the strike zone, but he's got to keep that away against Zunino. You don't want to run that fastball down and in. That's the danger zone.
One count. Fastball upstairs. Full count.
If Alex can never really just trust his stuff. He's got an electric fastball. See the best fastball so far at 98 miles an hour. Curveball at 84. He does have a changeup. I think that's a pitch too. Eventually he'll feel more comfortable throwing. Just the differential in speeds.
Throw to first. That was some pretty good cheese over to Jeffrey Marte. See if Heredia is on the move here. He doesn't go. 3-2, and that is apparently inside.
Pretty close pitches. A couple of pitches close. Like I mentioned, more of a hitter's umpire. Very close. Run in action. Just about a half a baseball off that inside corner.
So 2 on with 1 out, and Gerard Dyson coming to the plate. Yeah, you mentioned confidence. Belief as far as Alex Meyer is concerned in his stuff. Is it that, or is it more so his ability or lack thereof of repeating the mechanics? I mean, go back, what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, Garrett Richards got to the big leagues and all the stuff that he had, but erratic because of so many moving parts.
Yeah, well,
do you see the same thing here with Alex?
It's very difficult, especially being 6'9", to repeat your mechanics and be consistent with it. But even having a conversation with him yesterday about his start here today, he said he has to start believing in himself, because sometimes as a young pitcher, and he said, hey, I'm not that young anymore. I should be more consistent. That I give hitters sometimes too much credit. When you do that, you're just going to aim for the corners instead of trust the movement middle part of the plate. Now that'll allow his mechanics to be more consistent, getting that arm slot more consistent if he just trusts middle and then trust the movement. And because you're erratic, you don't get any of those borderline calls on pitches just a little bit off corners. I mean, that's free and easy at 97. They're under control. All day long, that's your mindset has to be if you're Alex Meyer, just under control. He's been blessed with a great arm, but you still have to make your pitches and repeat that arm slot.
Dyson laid on it, fouls it off, 1-2.
In the last couple of pitches for Alex, he's been under control. He's got that good balance on the back leg, driving towards the plate. His head is still, shoulders are level, and eye on the target. Boy, when he delivers a baseball, his foot is almost on the grass in the infield.
You know, if he did the Carter caps, he would end up in the grass. 1-2.
That looked like a changeup. Now again, going back to Dyson last night against Parker, went split finger fastball, a little off speed, and he flared it in. He's been laying on a couple fastballs. I think he had to trust that movement on the fastball.
Ready at second, Zunino at first. 2-2, got him. Just blew right by him. 2 down.
And went back to the fastball. You have to believe in that fastball. Especially, it's not a straight fastball. It's got some late movement to it.
You know, and to your point, in this situation here, you're almost doing, and that's a pitch out of the strike zone, you're almost doing Alex a disservice by trying to quote-unquote set him up with an off-speed pitch or get him out in front with an off-speed pitch. Because if you've got that fastball blow right by it, as witness right there, why not just finish him off?
Yeah, and again, because you have movement, you can start that fastball middle of the plate and run that to the outside corner, and then eventually you'll get hitters to chase when you start it on the corner off the plate.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Heredia holds it second.
At times he does have a plus curveball. Again, it comes down to not muscling up and forcing it.
The Angels sending out Brooks Pounders to call up Alex to make the start today. Daniel Wright still in the bullpen. Ball and a strike. Segura was hit. Very first pitch that Alex threw today. And it was thrown out trying to steal second. Breaking ball. It's tapped foul. 1-2. Seattle with a run of the first. A 2-out double by Nelson Cruz, scoring Cano from first. The Angels getting 2. Juan Gratterall, 2-strike approach. 2 outs. Throwing a single out to left field.
One thing Gratterall had told Jose Mota earlier today, he said he is going to be on Alex Meyer as far as letting him know when that front shoulder's flying open, when he's doing something mechanically wrong. He's going to be very quick to tell him to get him right back in focus in the strike zone.
Fastball fouled back.
.98-mile-an-hour fastball.
And 2 pretty good swings at those fastballs.
I would think right now his curveball is a good swing and miss pitch. A little different hitter than what we saw with Dyson with fastball running away. Dyson very good as far as fastballs in, not as much away, but Segura very good on a fastball both in and away.
Breaking ball and jammed him, backed up. He's yet to be able to throw that breaking ball with any type of consistency tonight.
Exactly what we talked about. Gradwell is going to go out and make sure he stays under control with the break ball. That's the right pitch. The execution was not there.
36 pitches now. We're in the second.
.24 pitches this inning. Very important to finish off Segura right now. Control that pitch count.
Breaking ball hit sharply to short. Simmons flips it to Espinosa, and they force out Zunino. Nothing happening for Seattle as we head to the third. Angels on top 2-1. Here at Safe Go. Hey, join your Angels on Friday, May 12th as they take on the Tigers at 7:07. Fans in attendance receive a cooler backpack courtesy of your Colt probiotic drink while supplies last. For more information, just go to angels.com/promotions. Friday, May 12th, or 12 de Mayo, just in case you're wondering.
Like it.
Albert takes downstairs. Pujols, Marte, Simmons here in the third against Miranda. 4 hits allowed, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Albert popped down his first time up, takes a strike.
I think Albert would like that pitch back. Fastball pretty much the heart of the plate.
Pulled down the line and Seager gloves it.
Yes, he got it right back. Hit it hard, but Seager, former Gold Glove winner at third base, I think at 14 makes the play on that one. Look at it, potentially looked like it was going to be a double down the line. Seager able to gather himself and a firm throw to get Pujols at first.
Albert snuck a double down the line. The opening game of this series, 606th career double. Here's Jeffrey Marte, who struck out in the first.
So far this season, 4 extra base hits.
That's line to left. Heredia is there. 2 down.
2 pretty hard baseballs that were hit so far in this inning against Miranda. Albert, and now that line shot by Marte. Squared it up very well. And got a fastball upstairs. Again, he throws quite a few 4-seam fastballs. Not many 2-seamers. A lot of four-seam fastballs, upper part of the strike zone.
Andrelton grounded out in the second, 0 for 1. Gets an off-speed pitch, first offering. It was Andrelton who was robbed by Heredia. Yesterday's game ended up going as a sacrifice fly. This one's rolled foul. 0-2. Renicky, the rare misplay at third base.
And you know he's going to get crushed. He's not even looking towards that dugout at all yet.
Ball and 2 strikes. Two quick outs for Miranda. Evens account. Pulled to third. Seager almost lifts the glove up too soon. 1-2-3 inning for Ariel Miranda. We'll head to the bottom of the third with the Angels leading it.
Baseball on Fox Sports West is being brought to you by Hyundai. There's no better time to buy a new Hyundai than now. See your local Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com.
Cool rainy night in Seattle with the roof closed here in the finale of this 3-game set. Halos taking the 2-1 lead in the second inning. That's where we stand now as we begin the bottom of the third. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the M's. Gamble, Cano, and Cruz. Alex Meyer about to throw his 38th pitch, and it is in the dirt. Gamble worked a walk in the first inning. 1 of 2 free passes issued by Alex. There's 1 strikeout, 2 hits allowed, 1 hit batter. That's all those numbers from Gamble at the minor league level.
Well, that foul ball got right off Grado. Looked like he got his arm. And then the jaw even. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled straight back off the arm, and then the mask, and then the follow-through on the swing, the boot. See right here, the baseball, shoulder, mask, and then the follow-through on the swing hits the top of the mask.
Seeing that more and more. Catcher's interference, guys getting caught with the backswing. I think it's becoming one of those situations where catchers are trying to get as close as possible to the hitter. from a pitch framing or pitch presentation standpoint, as opposed to letting the pitch travel just a little bit further.
That's exactly what's
deeper in the
happening.
zone.
Remember, catchers used to wait back and not move at all and let the baseball get to their glove without any movement. But now you're seeing catchers catching that out in front, and that's where you're seeing on the follow through a lot of swings getting all hitting the mass.
Gamble works the walk. So the leadoff man is on board. Third walk issued by Alex. Robinson Cano will come to the plate. Got a pretty good rip at a fastball up. Danger zone.
What we talk about as keys of the game is you want to avoid these two batters in situations, especially when you're not on a roll and with runners on. Robinson Cano with Nelson Cruz on deck.
No one. Caught the corner of it too.
Cano didn't like that call.
Just outside with that breaking pitch.
Really have a tough time to feel for that pitch. Generally a pretty good pitch for him to get back in the counts or finish off hitters. That particular delivery by him, that front shoulder flew wide open. Got to keep that front shoulder in longer to make sure you're able to get on top of that curveball to be able to have it appear to be a strike in the strike zone, then drop out of the zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Cano's a guy that you get a double plays roll into 4 this season.
Treats one foul.
Well, he stays back well on that fastball away. We've seen that a couple times already in the series where he's hit a ground ball in that hole and short on a high fastball.
Two runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Angels. A run on 2 hits, 1 error for Seattle. Pitch count rising for Alex Meyer. Second start of the season at the major league level. Tyler Skaggs is spot in the rotation. Gamble over at first.
Bullpen with a lot of use this season, but especially so far in the series, and that pitch count continued to rise here for Alex Meyer. 49 pitches already, no outs yet here in the 3rd inning. That's why a double play ball will be real big for him here. .26 strikes to the 49 pitches thrown.
Another 2-2, and he gets him on a breaking ball.
Best breaking ball he has thrown. He stayed back very well, under control on that one. Picking up his 2nd strikeout. Stayed back well, drives towards the plate. See all the fastballs away. One breaking ball, and then this nasty one going straight down.
Nelson Cruz rocketed a double out to the alley in right center field. Picked up an RBI in the 11th, or in the 1st, I should say. His 7th double of the season, 26th run batted in.
It's back-to-back solid curveballs for Alex Meyer.
Cruz now with a 12-game hitting streak. What?
That's how you know when you're locked in. That's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and Nelson Cruz was on that fastball.
But you're also helped out too because of the fact that he really has not commanded the breaking ball or something off speed to get guys off balance. It's because they could sit fastball.
Maybe trying to go a high fastball here. We'll try to go that breaking ball down and away.
Breaking ball and backed up.
See, he got around that again. It's all, he's not getting on top of the baseball, he's getting around the baseball. It's a terminology you hear as a pitcher. Your fingers aren't on top of the baseball, you're in the middle of the baseball. And when you do that, that breaking ball flattens out. You have to get those fingers on top and then snap that breaking ball off.
There's a good one there. Down goes Cruz, 2 outs.
I really like the target that Gratterall set. He kept that target low, kept it low, tapped the ground, and then gave that target once again for Alex Meyer. See where he wants it. He wants that baseball down, keeps the target low. Even the shoulders are down low, taps the ground, and that's exactly where Alex Meyer threw that pitch. Solid job by Gratterall with that one.
2 outs, Gamble still at first, and here's Seager in a fly ball to right field. More of a line drive to Cole. Called strike. That one appeared almost like he slowed his motion down just a little bit.
And you don't want to do that also. That tips the hitter off that it's something different. You try to keep that same tempo, the same arm slot. It's a little harder break a ball there.
Yeah, but still within that quadrant where it looks like a hittable pitch.
Yes. At this point, you got to be ready out in left field if you're Ben Revere. You'd probably go fastball away. I think that would be the best pitch. Stay away from a break a ball. Be a throw over. You throw the breaking ball, you have to bounce it this time.
0-2. Seager cues one up the line. It's a base hit. Gamble will stop at second. Right off the end of the bat. Nothing Escobar could do playing off the line.
Again, it's a pretty good pitch, but it went back to an all-speed pitch. If it fell to fastball, we really have a difficult time to make contact like this on a fastball. To stay back on it well. Pretty good piece of hitting, especially with 2 strikes, but you're in protect mode. More difficult to protect against a 97-mile-an-hour fastball on that plane.
Valencia's all 1 pitch in his first at bat. Popped out to Marte, leading off the second.
We've seen a couple times in this series so far with Valencia when thinks he's anticipating something on the inner half, he starts to move back and trying to get in that pull mode.
This one pulled to left field, a base hit, a hanging breaking ball. Gamble's being waved around. Little double clutch by Revere. It's a high throw. And we're tied at 2. A 2-out single by Danny Valencia. He picks up his 7th run batted in. He ends up at second base on the overthrow.
Yeah, I think there's a play at the plate if Ben's able to come up with that cleanly. Slight bobble and the overthrow, the high throw, because it was hit hard. Good backup by Alex Meyer, though, be in that position. So you can see right there, he's got the baseball just as Gamble's getting to third base.
Now with a couple of strikeouts to Cano and Cruz, the breaking ball, a little too reliant all of a sudden on breaking ball.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with Valencia at the plate.
He's going to be late. That's a 97, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Again, you can see what he was trying to do. He's trying to open up his hips to be able to get a baseball in the inner half to turn on it.
Runners at second and third.
It's another one of those backup breaker balls, a dangerous spot. You play right into a swing path from a right-handed batter. Now you want to establish that if you're Alex, but you also don't want to fall in love with that pitch, especially when you still haven't had a good feel for it.
Already had a base hit to center field in the second inning. Fastball and just misses off the plate. Didn't miss by much. Zunino on deck. Meyer walked Gamble to start things off and struck out Cano, struck out Cruz before giving it the cue shot single to Seager. Valencia with an RBI single. 3-1 pitch. Heredia pops it up first base side. Marte racing over near the railing and has it go off his glove. Wasn't hit high enough to where he can settle in by the railing. So everything happening at the same time, unable to come up with it.
It looked like it was trying to work its way back towards him. He tried to get to that wall as quick as possible and then reach in, but he got to that corner of the wall and didn't quite get to the other part of the wall, and that's what happened to him.
See the fan reaching for it, but well within his rights when that ball.
Yeah, if he reaches out over play, that could be called interference and could be called out. But when it's in the stands, fan has that same right.
3-2 pitch. Heredia flares one. Shallow right. That is going to fall in for a hit. 2 runs will score. Heredia ends up in second with a 2 RBI double, 4-2 Seattle.
perfectly placed little flare into the outfield. We got backup breaking ball once again. No chance for Cole Calhoun to get anywhere near that baseball. And the Angels are going to have to play catch up again.
Not only that, they're going to have to do it with the bullpen. Myers at 65 pitches. We're in the third inning.
Yeah, pretty economical first inning with his 12 pitches thrown, but 25 in the second, 28 already here in the third. Just when it looked like he was going to be able to get through the inning with no damage, a walk and 2 punch outs, but then 3 hits in a row with 2 outs.
So Zunino will bat with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. Already with his second hit of the evening, 3rd double, his 4th and 5th runs batted into the season. No balls, 2 strikes. Zunino worked the walk in the second. One-two. Fastball got him looking. Inning comes to an end, but not before Seattle gets 3 runs with 2 outs. They take a 4-2 lead as we head to the 4th. The Royals with coverage beginning at noon Pacific. Then on Fox, the Yankees take on the defending world champion Chicago Cubs at 4 p.m. Pacific.
But Aaron Judge hitting in Wrigley Field. Well, actually, anywhere the way he's hitting the ball right now.
But
looks like Sanchez is back too for the Yankees.
Yeah. But 8 or 9 of his home runs have been at Yankee Stadium this year. Of the, what's he got, 12, 13? Good bulk of them are at Yankee Stadium. For right-handed batter, though, it doesn't matter. If you were left-handed, then you could talk about the short pitch.
Well, even if you're a little bit late on a swing as a right-handed batter, the ball just flies out the right center field.
Mabe and Espinosa and Revere for the Angels here in the fourth, down 4-2. Campbell with a base hit and a run scored in the second. Two and one. Miranda with a strikeout, a walk, 4 hits allowed. 2 runs in the ground roll single in the second inning. Ground ball to short. Five straight retired now by the left-hander since getting hit by Escobar's infield single. Danny worked a walk in the second.
Some working a lot the last couple of days with Dave Hansen and Paul Sorrento. Shorten up his swing. Just trying to get back to using that middle of the field. And when you get a pitch you can drive, you still have that ability. Your hands are quick enough to turn on it. When pitches are away or elevated, think the other way or up the middle.
It's 1-2.
We're seeing a steady diet of a high fastball when Espinosa has been behind in the count. It looks like he wants to go off speed here.
Missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is the only game that currently being played. Short schedule. Everything else, for the most part, played earlier today on getaway day. Two. Full count. Here on deck. Mentioned earlier, Texas beat Houston. Oakland defeated Minnesota 8-5.
Boy, Minnesota had the bases loaded in the 9th inning, down by 3 with Sano at the plate.
Espinosa goes down swinging, 2 outs.
I was watching that game and he swung at a 3-0 pitch off the plate, then eventually ended up striking out and ended the game.
Field damage. Sometimes hitters will get themselves out.
Especially when you're over aggressive. Green light on a 3-0 was off the plate, and then you become more of a defensive type hitter. And a back-to-back pitch, I remember, out of the zone to get him out.
Revere grounded out his first time up. Drag bunt, first base side, put it in your pocket. That's a base hit. Or is it? No! What a play if the foot of Miranda landed on the bag before Revere's. But the way that ball landed, Valencia, once he picked it up, I thought it was going to be an infield single.
That was a long stride by Miranda and reached to be able to get to the glove. He may have gotten him. Perfect feed.
Got it. Safe.
Yeah, he's in there.
Yep.
At least we don't. Off the bat, we're like, oh, just save that one.
That wasn't
the throw.
I mean, at that point, when he fields that ball, it's like you don't even think he's got a shot at it.
Yeah, you can see that foot's on the base. That should be pretty quick.
Yep. There goes an infield base hit. I'm going to go ahead and mark it in my book.
I already did.
My iPad, whatever. You already did?
Yeah.
Second time tonight the Angels have a challenge to play. The stolen base to Segura in the first inning was overturned.
Nice play by Miranda, not only to catch that ball, but even that long stride he had to make it even a close play.
This shouldn't take any. It's the only game that's being played, so it shouldn't take too long. So Revere, infield base hit on that bunt. But he's on board for Juan Granderol.
So Mike Scioscia's been right on both. Steve Solis always keeps a tab on that one in the clubhouse. 2 for 2 tonight.
One for one. A 2 RBI single in the second. First 2 RBIs of the year. Lifted out to shallow right. Gamble has to come in on it. So the Angels get the 2 out. Bunt base hit. Nothing more as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Seattle on top 4-2.
Around the majors, and speaking of a very hot hitter who's going to be coming into town, Marwin Gonzalez. Home run today in Houston. That's the 5th straight game in which he has started. He has hit a home run. Now 9 home runs on the season for Marwin Gonzalez as the Astros are coming into town, and he is swinging a very hot bat.
Alex Meyer back out of the bump. 4-2 Seattle. Bottom of the 4th. The series against the Astros begins tomorrow night. Jesse Chavez going up against Dallas Keuchel, Lance McCullers, J.C. Ramirez on Saturday night. Mike Fiers, Matt Shoemaker on Sunday afternoon. And the Angels back out on the road. Old school schedule, right? A 3-game homestand and get out of Dodge.
Yes. Dallas Keuchel, 5-0 AL Pitcher of the Month.
Back to what he was 2 seasons ago.
Yep.
Dyson, Segura, and Gamble, 9-1-2. See if Alex Meyer can have himself a quick inning, pitch count wise. Ended up getting 2 strikeouts with a man at first in the 3rd inning, and then faced 4 more batters. 71 pitches so far. 2-1. Dyson struck out in the 2nd. Escobar in on the grass, guarding against the bunt. Good spot.
Got him to chase a fastball that ran off the outside corner last at bat. After a fastball there in the strike zone, more apt to chase a fastball.
Back toward the mound. 1 down. Back to the top of the order with Gene Segura coming up. originally with the Angels, signing an amateur free agent back in 2007. And into one game, the Angels in 2012 before being traded. One almost hit him. It was part of that Zach Greinke trade, 2012. Going to Milwaukee. Had a fantastic season last year. Led the National League in hits with 203. 319. Takes outside. 2-0. One. Yeah, as good a season as Segura had last year, not an all-star.
It's hard to believe.
Yep. 13th in the MVP voting. He's got one all-star appearance. That was in 2013 as a member of the Brewers. That's the line to right center field, a base hit. So Segura's on board with one out here in the fourth. Ben Gamble coming up.
Went down and got that low fastball. Again, when you get yourself in a good count like that, 3-1, you're sitting fastball. Even more so against Alex Meyer, because the fact is he's had a tough time for the most part controlling the strike zone with his curveball.
Gamble's walked twice and he's scored one run.
That's a pretty good pitch. Lower part of the strike zone not called. See where this pitch is located, middle of the plate, right on the lower part of the strike zone.
This will find its place in the seats. One ball, one strike. Title's coming to play today, 13-9 against Western Division opponents. Seattle 7-12. Seattle's schedule early on really road heavy. 17 games out on the road. This is just their 12th game here at home. Angels, for the most part, pretty much down the middle. Certainly will be after this weekend series. Two balls and one strike.
Good count for action for Seattle. Kind of looked like the Segura was leaning.
Paying attention to Segura. Got thrown out trying to steal in the first inning. First time he's been caught this year. He's 5 of 6 so far. Seattle leads the American League in stolen bases with 24. Doesn't go, and Gamble takes a strike. 2-2. Robinson Cano on deck. Gamble pulls it down the line under the glove of Marte. Hugging the wall, and Segura's going to be waved in. Throw to Espinosa. The relay is not in time. RBI double for Gamble. And the Mariners extend their lead to 5-2.
Down and got this pitch out in front and hooks it right by and underneath the glove of Marte at first base. And right down in that corner here at Safeco, spacious Safeco field in the outfield. Long look in to wonder if they're going to intentionally walk Cano.
Looks like they're going to check on Alex Meyer or check on something.
Looking at his hand.
Yeah, pitching hand.
And right in that nail blister area, generally you're going to see that.
Appears to be all right. No visit. So Cano will bat with first base open. Gamble standing at second. It's 5-2 Seattle. Cano a fielder's choice with the run score of the first, a strikeout in the third. Second consecutive at bat that Robbie's jumped on that fastball, both times fouling it off. Daniel Wright about to crank it up. 85 pitches now for Meyer. 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, a hit batter, 7 hits allowed.
Going back to my Hyundai key for this game, stay away, especially from Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz. 2 very dangerous hitters with very good career numbers against the Angels. But really what it's come down to is a couple of mistake pitches to the guys below them as far as getting hits. Too many base runners for Alex Meyer in this game, though. Stuff's too good.
Ground ball right side. Espinosa goes into a slide. Nice play by the Angel second baseman. Retires Cano. Round number 2. Gamble ends up at third base.
Real solid play by Espinosa. Real good range and a strong throwing arm. Able to get Cano at first base. Gets by him. That's going to end up being an RBI single for Cano. Slide into that outfield grass. Quickly gets that throw in and gets Cano at first. Espinosa's solid defensive play and is a solid defender at second base. He'll stay on track with that baseball, even though going into that outfield grass. You got to check him on that one.
Sharply hit. Simmons can't get it. It'll bring in another run. 6-2 Seattle. Cruz with his second RBI of the night. That may be all for Meyer.
You mentioned Cano and Cruz, two guys you want to stay away from as far as in RBI situations. Twice now, Cruz able to come through for the M's. See that sound off the bat, even with that range that Simmons has, will not be able to get to that baseball.
Again, hasn't been able to be consistent with the off-speed stuff, so you got guys in the middle part of the order just sitting dead red. Cruz gets the RBI single. Now with 27 runs batted in on the year. Here's Kyle Seager. 2 outs, 1 on. That's hit out toward right center field. Long run for Maben and Calhoun. Maben will track it down for out number 3. 2 runs in for Seattle as we head to the 5th. The Angels now trail at 6-2.
This is being brought to you by the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Top of the 5th in Seattle. Halos down 6-2 on this rainy night here in the Emerald City. Ariel Miranda back to work, and the Angels by the top of their order coming up. Escobar, Calhoun, and Pujols to face the left-hander. Tough 4 innings for Alex Meyer. 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, and a hit batter. And now Escobar 2 for 2 with a couple of singles.
To get that leadoff hitter on once again. The Angels have come back so well against Seattle this entire season.
Ground ball to the right side, a 3-hit game for Escobar.
And right away, creating that doubt, base hit. And now it's time for the driver's seat, brought to you by the new 2017 Kia Sorento. Speaking of getting right back in the game, Cole Calhoun has homered in 3 straight games. Club record, 5 straight by Bobby Bonds back in 1977. That's lefty to hit 4 and home run in 4 straight. Mo Vaughn, the hit dog, in 1999. Bobby Bonds that year in 77, 37 home runs, 41 stolen bases. So a 30-30 guy. Mike Trout, the only other, did it in 2012. Almost did it last year again for Trout.
0-1 to Cole. A little bit high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Calhoun's 0 for 2, a fielder's choice and a ground out. Escobar, by the way, his 4th 3-hit game of the season. Back-to-back multi-hit games for him now. To be getting back on track. Ground ball. Valencia gloves it to the backhand, stumbles, fires to second base, and they get the out. Calhoun reaches on the fielder's choice with 1 out.
Yeah, the conversation here in Seattle is they've been real happy with the defensive play by Valencia at first base. Made a couple good plays in this series. A little bit of a stumble, but got to that baseball pretty well. And hit the third baseman by trade. Solid play at first base once again, fielding that ball by Valencia. Otherwise, it's potentially first and third with no outs. So he had this 22 career starts at first base in his career.
Catches the inside corner. Albert 0 for 2, a pop-up and a ground out.
0 for 10 in his career versus Miranda. He's got a first pitch fastball each at bat so far tonight.
Underneath this one, out to center.
Same reaction he had in the first inning on a off-speed pitch. Just got underneath it for Albert.
2 down.
See this pitch right in the heart of the plate at 84, and the reaction by Albert, knowing he had a pitch, and Miranda knew he got away with the pitch by his reaction.
Marte underneath this one, out to left. Heredia coming in. The Angels are done here in the 5th. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Looks like Daniel Wright will be coming into the game with the Angels down 6-2. As we start the bottom of the 5th, hey, join us on Saturday night home games and enjoy a post-game fireworks show. For more info on those fireworks show presented by Wells Fargo, just go to angels.com for more details. No fireworks for the Angels yet through 5 innings. Daniel Wright takes over on the mound, replacing Alex Meyer, who tonight ended up going 4 innings, striking out 4, walking 3, giving up 6 runs. Wright will get to face Valencia, Heredia, and Zunino here in the Mariner half of the 5th inning.
Did a nice job in his first start and only start of the season. Got a no decision against Toronto with 5 shutout innings, 2 walks, 3 punch-outs.
Valencia 1 for 2, had an RBI single his last time up. This is back up the middle. That's a base hit. Fastball that was up. Valencia with a 2-hit game. Brings up Heredia. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Guillermo Heredia, multi-hit game. Single with double, 2 RBIs. Perfect lob wedge into right field to bring home 2 runs in the 3rd. I believe the exit velocity was just over 60 miles per hour.
But well placed.
Yes, it was. No balls, 2 strikes. Daniels pitching in his 3rd game for the Angels. 2nd relief appearance, has 1 start. He threw the ball well against Toronto. That started on April 23rd, going 5 innings, giving up 3 hits. 3 strikeouts. 80 pitches in that outing. Breaking ball gets Heredia, 1 down.
That's his best pitch. Good spin rate on his curveball to get a swing and miss. Stays on that pitch very well. Had a decent changeup too. Fastballs 88 to 92 range, but his curveball is his go-to pitch to get a swing and miss.
Zunino tonight with a walk and a strikeout looking. One, fouled back, 1-2.
Ran that 92-mile-an-hour fastball in off the plate to jam him.
Evens up the count, just missing. Leadoff single by Valencia. He stands at first. Swing and a miss. Down with a high fastball. 2 down.
Second time Zunino has struck out. Ran this fastball right by him at 93, upper part of the strike zone.
Dyson takes outside. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. Struck out. Tried to bunt his way on to the 4th inning. Originally called safe, but the call overturned. So Angels challenged the call. Pardon me, that was on the Revere ball. This one toward short. Simmons to the backhand. Go to first. Dyson retired. And a fairly easy inning for Daniel Wright. 5 complete here in Seattle. Halos down 6-2. Sports West is being brought to you by Mercury Insurance. We're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. Go the distance with 84 miles per gallon and 566 total driving range. Halos down by the score of 6-2 as we start the 6th inning. Errol Miranda giving up 2 runs in the second. And that has been all. Simmons is 0 for 2 with 2 ground ball outs. Ground ball to short.
Amazing thing is he started out with Albert Pujols with all first pitch fastballs, but he's throwing the changeup first pitch against Simmons on that very first one. So then he goes back with a fastball and he gets it out on a high fastball.
Maben 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. The start place of Trout out at center field. Mike getting the day off.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches to start this at bat against Maben from Miranda.
That shot to right. Gallow's got to go back on it a little bit. Stepping onto the track puts it away. 2 down.
Good read off the bat by Gamble to run back there on the warning track and track down that well-hit baseball by Maben going the other way.
So bases clear for Espinosa, who walked and scored in the second. Struck out in the fourth. Lift one out to right. The Angels here in the 6th inning go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Still 6-2 Seattle. At the bottom of the 6th inning, top of the order now. 6-2 Seattle. They scored 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Angels 2 runs back in the 2nd inning for a brief moment of a 2-1 lead. Segura hit by a pitch, a fielder's choice, and a single. So fell off the first one. Gene 1 for 2. Also scored a run. Late on that one, 0-2.
See if Daniel will either go with his slider or curveball here now.
Reaching for that one, punches it out to right field. Pretty good piece of hitting on a breaking ball down and away. Leadoff man to start the 6th is on board for Seattle.
You can see why he led the National League as far as hits last season. They have that type of coverage. Track that one out of the strike zone. Went down and got it. Pretty good pitcher's pitch. It's a good piece of hitting.
Ripped to right, a base hit. Segura will turn and head toward third. Little stumble there. The throw is cut off, and Gamble's on board. Seattle with runners at the corners to start the 6th inning with Cano coming up.
Well, Gamble's had himself a game tonight. 4 times on base, a couple hits. Had a couple doubles last night. Eight times on base in this series for Gamble.
Robinson Cano tonight, a fielder's choice, a strikeout, and a ground ball to second. Ground ball to second. Espinosa to Simmons on to first. Low throw dug out by Marte. It's a double play. Segura scores and it makes it 7-2.
No RBI on that double play ball by Robinson Cano, but the 7th run. The game for Seattle crosses the plate.
Two outs, nobody on, and here comes Nelson Cruz. Multi-hit game once again in this series. 2 RBIs as well, with a double and a single.
Wants to check the baseball there to see if that ball was off the end of the bat.
You don't see that too often anymore. Umpires checking the baseball.
No.
Usually they just toss the baseball out now.
I was asked by Nelson Cruz. Well, maybe at the end of the bat by Robinson Cano would put a little cut in the baseball. Now the baseball's out of play.
Jack swing, 1 around, 2-1.
Little change up there from right.
Fastball got him looking, and the inning comes to an end.
It's a real good sequence by Wright against a very hot hitter in Nelson Cruz.
Seattle has a run. They lead it 7-2.
Around Major League Baseball, Max Scherzer had it working again today. Had the 97-mile-an-hour fastball painting the corner. Dealing for the Nationals today against the Diamondbacks. Off to a very good start themselves, and then that slider, that wicked down and away slider, gets Chris Iannetta on a swing and miss. And then finish it off. That was his 10th strike. It finished off with 11. That's the 51st time in his career 10 or more strikeouts. Second only amongst active pitchers to Clayton Kershaw. Also went 2 for 3, by the way, at the plate with an RBI.
Not too bad. Halos down 7-2 as we start the 7th. 8-9-1. Revere, ground to Roland Escobar. Moran at 87 pitches so far. Ben 1 for 2. Bunt base hit in his last at bat. Tony Zick getting ready. 1-2. Earlier we were talking about Marlon Gonzalez having a big series, hot against the Texas Rangers. This was fouled back. Apparently, he's the first player in the modern era since 1901 to homer in 4 straight starts, each at a different position. He's a guy that, remember, we talked about it when we were in Houston. It was he and Jonathan Villar splitting the shortstop duties, kind of holding down the position as Correa got drafted #1 overall. They were waiting. And Marlins turned himself into one heck of a utility player. Jonathan Villar's not too shabby either.
21 RBI already this season for Marlin.
Miranda picks up his 3rd strikeout.
Well, when you look at the rest of the guys in that lineup, you're thinking maybe I could take a little bit of a deep breath against Marlon Gonzalez, but can't do that right now. He is hot.
Villar had a pretty good season with Milwaukee last year. Off to a slow start this season. Villar had 62 stolen bases to lead the National League last year.
Good speed.
Yep.
Way back in that 2nd inning, Gratterall, the 2 RBI single at that point gave the Angels the lead, 2-1. Miranda has really settled in. 2-0 in his career versus the Angels, coming into this game with 3.71 ERA.
Oh, 2. That's a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, both looking 2 down.
Couple pitches inside here. Catching that inside corner. 94 pitches, had a first 2 innings. 47 of those pitches where he was struggling, especially in the 2nd inning.
Escobar with a 3-hit game tonight as a leadoff man, 3 singles. But all 3 times never advancing past first.
Good numbers for Miranda, 6 2/3 is 1 walk.
Back up the middle and make that a 4-hit game for Yunel. Keeps the inning alive for Cole Calhoun.
Speaking of homering in straight games, Cole Calhoun has homered in 3 straight. Right back up the middle, that's what you have to do, especially with an assortment of breaking balls, changeups, and splits against Miranda.
First 4-hit game of the season for Yunel.
Now 6 for 11 in his career versus Miranda.
And ball no strikes. Cole 0 for 3. Everything's been to the last 2 have been to the right side. His first swing is towards the shortstop area with a shift on where Seager bobbled the baseball in the 1st inning. Cole reached on the fielder's choice.
Pen came off the bat on the follow through on the swing. seen so far, especially on this road trip where Cole Calhoun has gotten hot. Shorten up his swing. Even watching him batting practice today, the baseball was jumping off his bat. Real short through the baseball.
One, two. Cole goes down swinging Miranda with 3 strikeouts in the inning. Stretch time in Seattle. Mariners on top. Of the 7th inning. Hey folks, MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Angels baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Angels home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Kyle Seager leading things off against Daniel Wright. This is Daniel's 3rd inning of relief. Seager, Valencia, and Heredia. 3 hits allowed by Wright, 3 strikeouts, 1 run. Popped him up. Shallow left. Ben Revere calling everybody off. 1 down.
Boy, what you're seeing in a little bit is still not that swing we're accustomed to seeing from Kyle Seager. Frustrated as he went around first base. Still with this 1 home run so far of the season. Especially when you think 5 straight seasons of 20 or more home runs for Seager. And he's had some pitches in this series to do some damage so far. He's got himself out.
Valencia with a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 3. Picked up an RBI. He's also scored a run. 11 hits for Seattle tonight. And Valencia out to deep left field, and he has picked up his 3rd hit of the night. 8-2 Seattle. 2nd home run of the series, 3rd of the season. And a
3-hit game for Valencia. Everything on the inner half of the plate. And it's generally been mistake off-speed pitches up against him in this series. He's been able to open up and look on the inner half of the plate, and every time he's gotten a mistake, he's hit it out. It's our top-tier play brought to you by Arco, off-speed, and he was ready. Those hips have opened up. He's got the hands in the barrel through the baseball, and this ball went a long way to left field.
Heredia with a 2-hit game with a single and a double. He's picked up a couple of RBIs. Two balls and a strike. Little flare out to center field, and Heredia will pick up his 3rd hit of the night. Third 3-hit game for Heredia this year. 13 hits now for Seattle. Here's Zunino. 2 strikeouts and a walk. It's fouled back. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Daniel Wright finish this game off.
Yes, definitely when you think about how many straight games the Angels are going to be playing with, 16 straight.
Yep, after 21 in a row.
Yep.
Before the off day last Monday. Breaking ball hit to third. Escobar gloves it over to Espinosa for 1. Relay back to first in time, inning-ending double play. Seattle has a run on the Valencia home run. They lead at 8-2 as we head to the 8th.
Apparently with Seattle and their offense. Yeah, 8-2 on Patrick O'Neill. Stick around after this one for Angels Live, brought to you by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Jose Mota will join me, and he wants to talk about what he saw from Alex Meyer, and when he's on, when he's going with the command, he sees potential, so he'll break that down. We'll look ahead, of course, to the upcoming weekend series with the Houston Astros. So I survived this little moment here, Victor and Mark. It's positive. The fans are rowdy. They're rowdy down here. Is anybody behind me? Nobody. That's the answer. Back to you guys.
Oh,
Nice.
Patrick, a lot of friends down there. You are a legend.
I see you working, Patio.
Yeah.
We start the 8th inning here. Tony Zick on a relief of Ariel Miranda. The left-hander ends up going 7 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, and a walk, giving way to Mr. Zick, who's 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. This will be his 7th game. Second appearance of the series. He's gone 6 innings so far, 4 strikeouts and 3 walks. Halos will send up Pujols, Marte, and Simmons in their half of the 8th. Albert tonight 0 for 3. 2 fly ball outs and a ground out. Watch out, fastball up and in.
Generally, the next pitch after an up and in fastball against Albert Pujols goes a long way. Way up and in.
Two and one. Three infielders on the left side against Albert. He'll shoot one past the shift. He's on board with a leadoff single.
You see the shift on, and still Albert able to beat that shift with a line drive through the infield. 2 through 5 in the lineup today for the Angels. That was just the first hit.
Marte hitless tonight, 0 for 3. Strikeout and a couple of fly balls to left.
It's 1 for 14. 2 through 5. Now we're getting that first hit.
And that's out toward left field, hit well toward the corner. Heredia is not going to get there. And one hops the fence. Albert on his way to third. Marte in at second with a double, and the Angels have 2 on with nobody out to start the 8th.
Now make that 2 for 15 now. Little backup breaker ball, middle part of the plate, and hooks it right down the line. One hops the wall in left field. 3rd double of the season for Marte.
Andrelton Simmons 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. Swinging first pitch, bounces one over to short. Pujols will come in to score. Simmons retired, picks up the RBI. It's 8-3 Seattle. 1 down. Marte remains at second.
Four ground ball outs tonight by Simmons. 2 to third, 2 to short.
Here's Maben. 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. 1-1. Bouncer toward third. Seager plays a short hop. 2 down.
That's a pretty good play. That's a tough little hop for Seager.
Take a look at the in-game box score. Halos with 9 hits tonight. Just to have been able to really figure it out against Seattle, although Escobar with a 4-hit game. His first of the season. No Mike Trout in the lineup either.
Tony Zick listed last alphabetically among all major league players in MLB history. By the way, with the last name, nearly 19,000 players have played the game.
Though it makes sense considering it's ZY. Right?
Yeah.
Just like your one-time clubby, right? Al Zeke.
Al Zeke.
Kansas City.
Alpha Zeke.
Espinosa foul tips out with 1 ball, 1 strike.
David Arzma first. Former Mariner also.
One. Yanni swinging a miss. 1-2. Hitless tonight. Walk, a strikeout, a fly ball to right. And he now 0 for his last 21. Espinosa strikes out, swinging. The Angels do get a run, but still trail it as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Of the 8th inning here at Safeco, the rubber game of the series. Halos took game 1. Seattle answered back last night. And it's been a tough go for the Angels tonight. And for the Halo fans in attendance, as they always are here, Pacific Northwest. Daniel Wright out for his 4th inning of relief. He's allowed 2 runs. Facing Dyson, Segura, Gamble, 9-1-2. It goes down.
right in the shin area. Fastball well off the plate in. Plant leg, unable to get out of the way of it.
Segura tonight, 2 for 3. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and hit by pitch. Nice play. Seattle's had 19 base runners tonight. Dyson on the move. He had a running start. I thought it was going to happen on the very first pitch. Speedsters seem to kind of get a little chapped when they get hit by a pitch.
With an 8-3 lead, steals second base, had a running start, 9th stolen base in 11 attempts.
Three-1, and he walked him. So hit batter and a walk. Puts 2 on to start this 8th inning. Gamble's been on board 4 times. 2 walks, a double with an RBI, and a single.
2 doubles last night.
Yeah, first game of his big league career, which he had multiple doubles.
And even game 1, a couple walks.
2 balls and no strikes. That is pulled, and off the glove appeared off of Marte to right. Dyson comes in to score, and it's 9-3. Gamble with an RBI single, his 3rd hit of the night.
Another off-speed pitch, changeup, stayed back, lines it. Just off the end of the glove, it looked like, of Marte.
Still nobody out. Here's Robinson Cano. One ball, one strike. Cano hitless tonight. Did reach on a fielder's choice to score in the first. One and 2. 49 pitches thrown by Daniel in his 4th inning of relief.
Incredible. Wanted that curveball in the dirt and ended up being above the strike zone.
Dylan Overton will pitch the 9th. Fouled off. Swing and a miss. Down goes Cano. 1 away.
Change-up drifting away. With Nelson Cruz coming to the plate, now it's time for the Land Rover above and beyond player of the game. Nelson Cruz has had a solid game again tonight. Now 19 RBI in his last 10 games, 2 for 4, 2 RBI. 6 hits in this series for Nelson Cruz. Now 13-game hit streak with the 2 hits tonight. Remember that series, he was struggling against the Angels at home. But since that point, he's been on fire.
2 for 4 tonight. 2 RBIs. Wright struck him out looking in the 6th.
He went changeup for strike 2, fastball away, looking, strike 3.
That's driven out to center field. Maben will track it down. Made it look easy as he glided back on that ball. That ball scalded off the bat of Cruz. 2 down.
Yeah, we talked about him in the opening about how many games he's played in that center field position. That ball was hit as hard as you can hit a baseball, but he's able to track that down and run it down in center field for Maben. 702 games in center field. Good route, good play by Maben.
Seager 1 for 4 with a single back in the 3rd inning. 2 on, 2 outs. He'll take a strike. Got the old Kyle Seager chant going on here at Safeco Field. One guy yells Kyle, everyone else Seager. Anything to pass the time of the game. Beats the wave.
Well, they were trying to do that.
Yeah, well, they're trying. Segura standing at second, Gamble at first. 9-3 Seattle here in the 8th.
3 straight changeups to Seager from right.
And that's ripped to right field on a 2-1 pitch. Segura will come in to score. The throw comes back toward the infield. Gamble ends up at third, make it 10-3 Seattle. Seager with his second hit.
You knew at some point he was going to get hot. He's been a very consistent major league hitter and a run producer. Well, it drives in a run there on that high fastball. See the first three, change up, and then he ran that one inside. He was ready for it and he turned on it.
"15 hits tonight for Seattle. Valencia has had 3 of them, 2 singles and a home run, 2 RBIs. Seems like it's been a while since the Angels had one of these type of games, getting pummeled. 15 hits, 10 runs.
Yeah, when you look at Seattle so far this year, runs has really not been an issue for
Right.
them. It's really been their pitching staff, something they felt was going to be one of their strong points.
Yeah, they came into play tonight 4th in the American League in runs scored, 4th in slugging. And this one's a little looper past Simmons, and a 4-hit game for Valencia, making 11-3 Seattle.
Charles Nagy will have a quick visit out there with Daniel Wright, knowing that his position, especially we talk about how many games are in a row for this team, and the bullpen has been used a lot. We say, hey, we need you to get this final out here.
First 4-hit game for Valencia since April of 2015.
When you look at that, they're 6th and 7 hitters. 7 hits combined.
Yeah, you add Seager into the mix, you got 9 between Seager, Valencia, and Heredia. And this one out toward left field. Veer moves over. We head to the 9th inning. Seattle's tacked on 3. They lead at 11-3. Tony Zick went 1 inning, gave up 1 run on 2 hits, and it'll be over to the lefty taking over here on the mound, trying to close it out for Seattle. 8-9-1 coming up for the Angels. This will be his 4th game, no record of 6 1/3 innings. Former Oakland Athletic, first action of the series. Halos have Revere, Gratterall, and Escobar coming up. The ball's 2 strikes on Ben. 1 for 3 tonight. Bouncer left side. Seager will cut in front. 1 down.
So used to those comebacks against Seattle, when their offenses kept adding on as this game has progressed. It's more difficult to do that. And no Mike Trout in the lineup for Mike Scioscia tonight. Recharger day off. Be back in there tomorrow against the Astros. Dallas Keuchel. Trout with real good career numbers against Dallas Keuchel. A .368 career hitter with 2 home runs.
Houston already in Southern California, I would imagine, since they had an early game today. Texas already here in Seattle. They will take on the Mariners tomorrow. This one flared out to right. Gamble has to come in, dives, and makes a terrific catch. And laid out.
Wow.
Long way to go. A la Cole Calhoun. 2 away.
Figured he wouldn't have as much energy to come in on this baseball, how far he had to go, and many times he's been on base. He scored 3 runs, along with 3 hits and 2 walks, but an outstanding defensive play. Overton, long hair. Gamble, the play out in right field with the long hair.
Big game for Ben Gamble today. On base 5 times and making a terrific diving catch for the second out here tonight. Escobar, 4-hit game. His first of the season. Two balls and no strikes. Ground ball to second. Cano is there. Should do it. And the Angels drop the final game of the series, 11-3 to Seattle.
And one of those tough games all around for the Angels. As Seattle ends up winning the series. Pretty solid road trip though for the Angels, going 3-3. Winning 2 of 3 in Texas, but only winning 1 of the 3. I had a chance last night, but Seattle came back and really had the offense going today. And Miranda very good on the mound for Seattle. 11-3 victory. Angels fall to now 15-15. Seattle improves to 13.